Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart and welcome back to Exandria, and to the channel for that matter. It has been a minute, hasn't it? Thank you very much to everyone who have been super duper patient with us. I really do appreciate it. We have not posted a video, at least a alignment video, since December, and we're back. We are kicking off summer with Vox Machina Season 2 as promised. Quick little reminder, this is a full bring back of all loading crew content. That means we are uploading an alignment video today, as well as a Pokemon tabletop video over on our gaming channel, The Loading 2. We have since hired 2 full-time editors. Loading Crew Crafts did very well last year, by the way, and because of that, we are able to afford 2 full-time managers and channel editors for that content. Be sure to check back every Saturday for new videos on both channels. Now, we've actually covered Season 1 of Vox Machina and Critical Role itself a few times on this channel, so be sure to check out those videos up here, especially since we'll be carrying on from where we last left off. So for any critters, new, old, or unsure, I would highly advise checking out our first alignment video. There's a few details I just have to work out real quick, and that is that we are following the animated series canon only and not the live show. Some people had some choice words with how I thought about Scanlan and his perceived plot armor from the cartoon. I'm aware that Scanlan earned his victory in the tabletop game. However, in the cartoon, it did not come off like that at all. It really did seem like he had the world's biggest plot armor, and he was just goofing his way through the through that entire encounter. It was inelegant, is the word I would use. I am also aware of things that happen in the series before, during, and after, including a particular Dragonborn that we will not be mentioning, but it has been made very clear that this show is following its own canon, and we're going to be following the show's canon and ignoring the tabletop stuff for now. Sorry, that's just how it has to be. And while this is a big old group, people who are making active decisions in this group are going to be the ones getting the dings, even if everyone else follows along with it. So when we last left our little adventuring band, Vox Machina has just beaten the threat of the Briarwoods and has saved Percival's home and his soul from darkness. I got some choice words about how that darkness was handled, but well, that's a video for another day. And now that they're hailed as heroes and have been cleared of all charges placed before them, the gang is ready to finally relax. And I'm sure nothing bad will happen for the foreseeable future. So let's quickly go over each character in rapid succession, starting with...
We didn't come for a reunion.
Huh, I've met cockroaches more trustworthy than you.
Vex and Vax. Vax the Rogue and Vex the Ranger are half-elven twins who have been looking out for each other after a rough childhood courtesy of their bigoted elven father. Vax started at Chaotic Good while the series began, and Vex started at Neutral Good, leaning chaotic, and Season 1 tested the two into opening up to their found family of Vox Machina and learned that they can't run away from their problems, with Vex getting closer to her fellow sharpshooter, and by the end of Season 1, Vax was right on the edge of lawful good and neutral good, and Vex was at a solid neutral good.
We're all just prisoners of our own anxieties, searching for connection in this...
Keyleth, the half-elven representative of the Ashari, was the team druid. The most innocent of the group starting at Chaotic Good, Keyleth was trying her best to help the world, but was very naive and found herself tugged very easily by group mentality. Despite her quest to become the next leader of her people, Keyleth has been sidetracked, even if she ultimately means well. By the season's end, Keyleth had begun to find her inner strength and even sacrificed herself to save Vex from a kill shot, ending up at a stronger good-aligned position of lawful and neutral good.
I thought we stopped running from our problems.
Pike Trickfoot, gnome cleric and victim of Sir not appearing in the season, tried to be the pillar of faith for the team while struggling with her own path. She started at Chaotic Good, leaning chaotic neutral, and was sadly forced to not appear during good chunks of Season 1. Friends with Grog, Pike found her purpose while spreading the faith of the Everlight. As such, she ended up pretty firmly in neutral good.
Sorry to wake you.
Grog Strongjaw, the bestest, most heroic and noble soul amongst the group. The Goliath Barbarian. Sorry. By the way, comment section, I don't need you to go ahead and tell me how cringe my post is. I made the post, I know how cringe it is. The Goliath Barbarian starts with the controversial lawful good at the beginning of the cartoon. Remember, this is the cartoon. Grog was the rock of the group, there to do what is right and kick ass and take names. If he could take a hit from someone, he would do it. With his best friend Pike and Scanlan at his side, Grog was able to stand toe-to-toe with the vampiric Silas Briarwood, taking the totally not evil blade Craven's Edge. He ended the season strong at another edge of lawful and neutral good.
Exploration.
Scanlan's shorthand, fan-favorite gnome bard, comic relief, and another of the chaotic good group. Scanlan was eager to bed Exandria, woo people, make songs, and avoid any fight if possible. Scanlan was a non-combatant that more than once was forced to go toe-to-toe with others due to his magical prowess. Scanlan grew in arcana knowledge in Season 1, helping to take down part of the Briarwood forces solo, and ends up at neutral good. He is also the member of the team I am most on the fence with. He is simultaneously my favorite character and the most frustrating one. And finally... No, I don't want to say it.
I am Lord Percival Frederick Stein,
The human gunslinger who started at true neutral, leaning neutral evil. Percy was the driving force of the Briarwood arc. Forced to face his trauma and confront the evil that shaped him, Percy went down the dark road of revenge before he was saved by his friends. By the end, Percy ended Season 1 closer to his teammate and reunited with his long-lost sister, Cassandra, at the beginning touches of lawful and neutral good, just existing in his neutral phase of his life. And if you're new to the channel and like this video and others, be sure to dagger the like and subscribe button. Ring that bell to raise your passive perception for all our channel's videos, and cast a teleport spell to share this video around with everyone else. And if you can respond to this message by letting us know what other characters you'd like us to cover, please do so. Looking for suggestions. So with all that out of the way, let's go.
Alarm bells. I suddenly feel overdressed.
Is this part of the show?
The season starts hard with the Siege of Amon. With 4 ancient dragons attacking everyone and everything, Vox Machina go into survival mode. There's a few times they are forced to fight a dragon, however they're quickly overwhelmed and you feel just how outclassed our once victorious band of heroes are from this long-hinted threat. It is a great way to start Season 2 after a high beating of the Briarwoods, and I'm actually going to call this whole thing neutral good, and everyone gets that because almost everyone takes the opportunity to protect, like, civilians in between the survival stuff.
Where did you get that curious blade? It radiates dark magic.
Off a vampire lord. Pretty cool, right?
So a quick note of Grog and the sword. You could probably tell the sword is a tad evil aligned, just a wee bit. And Grog is mostly in control of his actions, but feels urged to do certain things. This is important and will go forward for any of your critters. Grog's dings will be counted as normal.
My sister will take us in. We can regroup and plan a counterattack.
And meanwhile, Amon falls, the capital of this whole fucking continent. We can't just abandon it.
After getting their asses kicked, Percy recommends retreating to Whitestone. Vax doesn't want to run, while Scanlan elects avoiding the dragons altogether. With a dragon outside the home and a handful of survivors, the group escapes to Whitestone, neutral good.
What about us? We're protectors of the realm. I know it doesn't mean anything, but maybe it should.
Recovering in Whitestone, Vox Machina opt to seek help from other champions. I'm going to give everyone a lawful neutral, but give Scanlan a chaotic neutral, and peer pressure eventually wins out. But keep this in mind for later.
Good sir, I am Lord Percival Frederick Stein von Musil-Kolosky de Rollo III.
Arriving in Vasselheim, Percy and Pike try to be diplomatic and ask for help, getting nowhere in the process. They are eventually led to a group of monsters hunters called the Slayer's Take. The group are ambushed by the gang and the guest players. Despite the backstory with Vax and Vex, everyone tries and fails to get some help. Lawful neutral.
Scanlan, we don't have time.
Are you the patron?
How astute.
Face to face with the leader of the Take, Vox Machina face their fears. Daddy issues and abandonment for the twins, loss of trust with Percy, Pike's fear of failure, Keyleth running away from her duty, and absolutely simple but savage insult about Scanlan.
No one cares about you.
Jesus, we just saw more of a slaughter than in episode 1. Given the chance to run away, the group prove their conviction and are rewarded by learning about the MacGuffins of the series, the vestiges of divergence. Neutral good. While all this is going on, Grog is lured from the group by the Craven's Edge to meet the Earthbreaker's Groon. While he does ask for help, he's confronted on the source of his strength. Taken down several pegs, Grog begins using his new sword as a crutch. Confused but aware he needs to figure things out, Grog admits he doesn't know and accepts the lesson. Lawful neutral, then true neutral.
Come in! Wasn't sure I'd find a black powder dealer here in Vasselheim.
You'd be surprised.
And one last important ding to talk about, Percy hears about someone who's purchased gunpowder and who's missing a hand. Despite the first lead on Anna Ripley since Whitestone and knowing that she's out there, Percy says nothing. True neutral. Arriving at the tomb of Umbrasyl. Man, I just love fantasy names. Anyway, the gang are joined by Zara and Cash, who offer their services. While Vex and Vax are worried that they'll be double-crossed, they accept the help, but promise each other to be cautious. Remember this, as it will hurt later. Lawful neutral. The team dungeon crawls their way to the inner sanctum. Grog quickly becomes obsessed with his sword, something that worries Pike. And when Vax begins looking for traps, Percy is able to find the first vestige. Vex, at first hesitant, agrees to help and activates a trap. In a flash, Vex is killed. No fanfare, no nothing.
There was no sound, he just died.
Yeah, terrifying. It's a terrifying thing to watch happen.
This is why you always listen to your DMs, who ask, are you sure you want to do this? Lawful neutral for everyone, but chaotic neutral for Percy for whatever this was.
We could try resurrecting her.
I've never tried that before.
So this is a pivotal moment for a lot of characters, but let's focus on the most obvious one. While everyone is trying to keep calm as Pike works to resurrect Vex with Cash, Vax sees a shadow that's been haunting him since the beginning of the season. Realizing his sister is about to be lost forever, Vax offers himself instead. The Matron of Ravens spares Vex, changing the course of Vax's life forever. Neutral good for Pike for trying to help, but lawful good for Vax for offering himself up in his sister's place.
Wait, are you gonna kill them?
You worry too much, love.
With a vestige gained, the group faced D&D's favorite monster, the Beholder. Courtesy of an embittered Zara. Also, technically speaking, that's not a beholder.
That would be a copyright infringement.
Vax saves everyone, but the experience in the tomb has changed him. He punches Percy, blaming him for Vex's death, even when the gunslinger apologizes. Well, at least Zara gives Vex a Pokeball as an apology, so that's good. Chaotic neutral for Vax, because Percy kind of had this coming and he was willing to accept it. What a very bizarre ding.
No, you're right. It's fine. I didn't mean to... I'm gonna go get more wood.
Time for a Keyleth-centric episode as the gang catches word that the nearby fire Ashari have been attacked. Keyleth breaks and goes to help. She isn't ignoring the mission to save the world, but she is focusing on her duties as the leader of her people. She gets a lawful good, while Vax, for being resistant and trying to get into the next leg of the quest, would get a lawful neutral.
Oh, good. You're there. I hunger. Yep, for blood.
Checking back with Grog, however, he becomes more actively aware of his sword and starts talking with it. While he agrees to help feed the sword's hunger, he hides the fact that it can talk, even when Craven's Edge barely gets any blood. Let's give this a chaotic neutral.
We need help.
Dad?
You must have come for your Aramente.
Arriving at Pyra to discover the giant-ass red dragon wreck shop here, Keyleth struggles to help. She's honest about her lack of skills to her father, but eventually succeeds remembering her moth. Unlike Aang, Keyleth didn't run and instead choosing to rise, earning her and the others from Vox Machina a lawful good.
You know all these magical words and such.
You kept that thing?
During this episode, Vex and Scanlan discover a seemingly normal broom they grabbed at Gilmore's is actually magical. Scanlan agrees to give the broom and the password to fly to Vex for a carte blanche favor. I'm not even sure if I said that right.
Carte blanche.
Vex's reaction to this is pretty fair and says no at first, but Scanlan agrees to give her the broom during the crisis. Vex kindly agrees to the bargain, but also gets Trinket to pee on the bard. Lawful good for Scanlan, and I'm just gonna say chaotic good for Vex. It would have been lawful or neutral good if it wasn't for the spiteful pissing part, but that's just friends kind of playing pranks on each other, albeit a little gross.
Guys? What's this now? Ancient runes? What do they mean?
Finding the next Sphinx, the gang are challenged to earn the next Vestige's locations. The group quickly try to work together, but fail. It's only Scanlan, playing to his strength and opening up about his own insecurities, that is enough to win the challenge and obtain his own Vestige, Mythcarver. Neutral good, and God, I'm gonna say it, Scanlan's song sequence here is a nat 20 scene. I don't know a character who's frustrated me more that I absolutely love, but this scene is actually really good. And for him to be labeled the wise man of the group is just peak D&D for me. I love it. Absolutely great.
The vestige known as Mythcarver.
With the next two destinations and the next two vestiges down, the group are jumped by one of the conclave. Even with two buffs on the team, Vox Machina is still outclassed. Forced to run, Grog is overtaken by the sword's bloodlust and goes into a battle frenzy, accidentally stabbing Pike. The gang flees and befall the worst fate of any adventuring group. The party is split, and, well, they're kinda boned. Neutral for everyone else, but chaotic evil for Grog for essentially going to the bloodlust. Yeah, you might disagree with me, but just stick with me on this.
What happened to Pike? Where is she? I don't know.
With the party split, we're going to cover one group first, but check in back with the other. So let's see how the twins, Keyleth and Percy, handled the quest in the Fey realm.
Where's Pike?
How do you not know?
Breathe, all right? Just tell us what you remember.
Naturally worried about the separation, the group are forced to press on. Percy, who has read most about this realm, acts as a guide, but Vax hasn't let go of his frustrations, and his vibes cause problems in the Fey realm. They do find a mysterious creature that is following them and drawing a standard piece of Critical Role fan art before getting... I just realized what he wrote there. He draws a piece of Critical Role fan art before offering to get help. I know some would argue Percy is being selfish for turning down to help, but anyone who has read anything about the Fae knows that Percy is actually being as cautious as possible for a very good reason. Neutral good for Percy, chaotic neutral for Vax.
Pretty, which means they're probably super deadly.
Things take a turn for the worse when the gang are attacked with Keyleth and Vex's getting, Hey Trinket, how are they doing?
You are super fucked up.
Right, thanks buddy. Anyway, Vax finally accepts Percy's help, patching things up and getting some much needed guidance from the Fae. Neutral good.
First off, your hometown is...
This is a Vex-centric episode. The gang try to sneak through the elven city of... I'm not going to pronounce that, to avoid any problems, but are caught. With no other option, Vex is forced to ask for an audience with her father. While she and Vax are polite to everyone, Visar pushes buttons and makes it clear he isn't impressed by his children. Lawful neutral.
And you are?
Percival Frederickstein von Musil-Kolosky de Rollo III of the Royal House of Whitestone.
I see.
It's actually Percy who uses his class to get Visar to cooperate with them. Seeing Vax upset, though, Percy goes out of his way to outrank Visar, who quickly sees through the ploy and calls him out. I know it's very different from the campaign itself, but let's give Percy a quick neutral good for this. You know, show canon and all.
Clear your heads! Knock it out!
Arriving at the bog, Vex is quickly targeted by Fenthis's wielder and entitled fuckboy, Sondor. Given the option to get the bow while giving up her heart, and as admitted by Matt Mercer, Vex's humanity, the ranger nopes that and gets on the hunter's hex ship. After a large fight with Vax, Percy, and Keyleth all working together, Vex gets the bow and goes back to Amon to find their friends. All for good.
You have given me more entertainment in the last 2 dusks than I've had for millennia.
Goodbye, Garmely, and I'm sure we'll never see him again.
Vax? Vax?
Oh shit, Pike.
Let's rewind and catch back up to the rest of Vox Machina. Grog, Scanlan, and a critically injured Pike try to make sense of what happened and deal with Grog's sword. Grog begins feeling Craven's edge pull, and while he's tempted by the power, he listens to Scanlan and Pike and destroys the sword. Lawful good for Grog, and I'm telling you guys, this is a lawful good barbarian. Stop arguing with me.
Grog, you with us?
I don't know what came over me.
I know.
With Grog about as supple as a level 1 wizard, Pike and Scanlan drag Grog through the countryside to the one person who can fix anything, the Fawns. During all of this, Scanlan throws some vibes Pike's way, but she feels hesitant to return the favor. Lawful good for both Pike and especially Scanlan for helping out Grog. I also like to point out that Scanlan being lawful good is why Pike finds him cute, and I really love that. That's very cleric and very great. I love it.
I think we have to go to Western.
Huh? Why there?
For vestiges. Mythcarver showed me those gauntlets, remember? In the city?
After getting patched up, the trio confirms that Grog's uncle Kevdak has the next vestige. Following the trail of bodies, Scanlan is coerced by Pike to sneak into the town and find answers. Since you need to at least roll a 2 for seduction with Scanlan, the gnome bard slips in. Neutral for Pike, neutral good for Scanlan.
The phone?
Are you one of them?
I'm about 4 feet too short to be one of them. Who are you people?
Just unlucky.
Finding Umbrasyl, the herd, and the survivor, Scanlan guides a group of them, including a gnome bard who seems to know him, to safety. Unlike his Scambo moment from Season 1, Scanlan is looking to not do any unnecessary damage. Grog, who spends the episode opening up about his backstory, feels some lingering doubts with his uncle's bloodshed. Despite his weakened condition and Kevdak already having a magical artifact enhancing him, Grog Strongjaw faces his destiny. Lawful good shit right there. Man's man, and a hero to all. Lawful good. Fucking love Grog.
To single combat. I accept.
It's a cage match as Grog faces Kevdak in the ultimate grudge match. As things look grim for himself and his friends who are watching, Grog accepts the power of friendship, regaining his muscles and calling out to his friends for help. Some may argue that calling in backup for a one-on-one fight isn't exactly lawful, but Kevdak did drag them in, and Grog is able to call on the now reformed Vox Machina. After a nat 20 finishing move, fuck yes, Grog gets the next vestige, gives the herd's leadership to his cousin, and all of them agree to take down the dragons as one. Lawful good for Grog, best boy, god damn it, I love him.
Right. We need to take out Umbilical. Umbrasyl. Fuck him too.
With the party returned, everyone gets to work. Percy helps build a trap while Grog directs the herd. With Vax receiving more visions, he opens up to Scanlan, Keyleth, and Vex. The half-elves support Vax as he accepts his fate with the Matron of Ravens, becoming her champion. Lawful good.
Oh, you know, I mean, the life of an entertainer brings endless adventure, freedom, and...
The reason Scanlan didn't get that is because his character arc kicks in as he finds out that Kaylee is his daughter. He tries to sweet-talk Kaylee only to mix up a potential baby mama. Whoo! With his life in danger, Scanlan gives up and lets his daughter choose how she wants to deal with this. While he's alive and was inactive, let's label this as a weird, chaotic good.
Smallest offering yet.
With everyone saying goodbye and making their last preparations, Vox Machina has their rematch with Umbrasyl. And despite their surprisingly well-thought-out plans, things go tits up as Scanlan and Vax are forced to get, let's call it, intimate with their battle. Honestly, the rest of the episode and most of the final episode are a big climactic battle against the dragon, as almost all the characters work together to stop him. Everyone gets a quick lawful good for this.
Grog's a mess. Pike's done, and it's got Mythcarver. We tore through its stomach and didn't even slow it down.
That was your idea.
Now for Scanlan, he gets the chance to run again. However, inspired by the cutting words of his daughter, our gnomish bard fights back and unlocks his vestige's abilities. In the end, Scanlan is able to carve out his own myth and take down the second member of the conclave. And I'm sure no other hardships are on the horizon. Lawful good for Scanlan.
Cheers. Cheers. One down, 3 to go.
Well, now Vax has a rude way to end the video. Chaotic good for throwing knives at the dinner table, even if it is at a mortal enemy. Season 2 was a different beast. It's pretty night and day with how the season and the previous one are handled with all their characters. While Season 1 dealt with the Briarwoods and Percy's descent into darkness, God, I did not appreciate that arc. With the others shining in all their own ways, the plot is much more evenly spread out here. Everyone gets their own chance to develop, grow, and this means that the characters change dramatically from where they are in the game itself. But that's okay, because that means the characters can be better written and more consistently. And that's a good thing, especially when there are several plot points of Season 1 that could have been handled better. Percy! And again, this isn't to say that Season 1 is bad. In fact, it's pretty great. I'll sing the praises of the show that they've earned, but it's clear that Season 1 was written with the idea that maybe it wouldn't make it past another one, maybe? I don't know. And Season 2 was written knowing that there's going to be a third one, definitely. Apparently, there's also a Mighty Nine animated series and a growing network of comics and stories. I will admit, I know nothing about Mighty Nine. Someone in the comments tell me if it's good. The point is, they don't have to rush this time. I'm eager to see how Season 3 goes, because there's some big stuff going on the horizon. If you've not watched Campaign 1, go do it, dude. It's really good. But of course, if Amazon Prime is looking for other series that they can adapt into a unique world and homebrew classes that they can make a series pop, they can always take a look at the Loading 2 channel. We got 2 Pathfinder games going on. We also have our Pokemon D&D game returning. And I also got a couple books coming out, and I've got a Kickstarter for the complete waifu handbook coming out in July. Also, Amazon, you need to call me. Netflix didn't return my